Resonance. It's that magical, intangible quality that makes your work and your presence deeply connect with others. It's like a frequency that only your ideal clients or your audience can hear. When you resonate, you're not just selling a product or a service, you're sharing a piece of your soul, your woo, if you will, that aligns perfectly with what your audience is seeking. It's a two-way street of authentic vibes that creates a strong emotional connection, making your work unforgettable and turning clients into raving fans. Welcome to Tried and True with a Dash of Woo, where we're all about mixing tried and true strategies that actually work with the magic of manifestation and the science of programming your unconscious mind so that you walk away feeling integrated, inspired, and aligned. I'm Renee Bowen, certified life and business coach, professional photographer, middle-aged wife, and mom to now 3 grown kids. I've built 2 multiple 6-figure businesses with 0 business training by digging in, learning the methods, and now I'm here to pass them all on to you. From photography and business strategies to energy healing, human design, and the basics of manifestation, we cover it all here. I'm here to help you embrace your multi-passionate brains and lean into the fastest and most efficient ways to reach your goals, whatever they may be. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, or maybe you're just here for the woo-woo, let's dive in and explore all the exciting ways to take your life, business, and self-improvement to the next level. Thanks for joining me, and get ready to be inspired. Hey friends, welcome back. Okay, so today we are talking about a really hot topic. You might have heard me speak about this on many TikToks, many Instagram reels. And if you coach with me, it's something that we talk about a lot. But some of you, I think, are confused by it, or you don't really truly understand how to find it. Okay, so this is all going to be about finding your resonance, understanding what that is, and how to lean into it so that you can not only just live a better life and, be happier, because you are going to do that. That's a side effect of living in your resonance, is that you're just happier. But also you are going to be able to understand how to use your resonance in a way that is going to attract your target clients like only you can. Okay, so let's think about an example that most of us have an experience with, and this might help you guys understand the basics of resonance really quick. So think about when you're at a playground, either when you were a kid or when you take your kids to a playground and you push them on the swing. So most of us have experienced pushing a swing, right? And if you give the swing a push at the right time, right when it reaches the peak and starts to come back, the swing goes higher with each push. So you're applying force at the swing's natural frequency, causing it to swing higher and higher each time. This is an example of mechanical resonance. So if you've ever tried pushing the swing when it's out of sync, you'll notice that it doesn't go very high, and it might even come to a stop. So this is what happens when things are not in resonance. The energy that you're putting in isn't effectively transferred to the swing, and the motion just dampens. So in the context of our businesses as creative entrepreneurs, think of your business as the swing and your actions or your messaging as the pushes. So when you're in resonance with your target audience, every push or effort that you make is perfectly timed and aligned with what your audience needs and wants. And this amplifies the impact of your actions, making your business swing higher, so to speak. Okay. And on the flip side, if you're not in resonance, your efforts might just fall flat, not because you're not pushing, but because the timing and the alignment are off. For creative entrepreneurs, and a lot of you guys as photographers, developing this resonance is crucial. In a saturated market, it's really easy to get lost in the noise. But when you resonate, you stand out. You attract clients who appreciate not just what you do, but who you are. Okay? This is especially important for high-end services like luxury photography, where Clients are looking for an experience, not just a final product and not just digital images. Resonance allows you to charge what you're worth and build a business that's not only profitable, but also deeply fulfilling. It's the secret sauce that turns your creative passion into a thriving business. It's what really, really gets you in front of your target audience. And if you know anything about running a business, you know that you have to connect with a target client. Not everyone is your client, okay? If you are marketing to everyone, you're marketing to nobody. So if you don't have a marketing strategy, or if you feel like you are lost in your marketing, you really need to sit down and do some work on this target audience, like really define that on a deep level. And a lot of mentors and coaches are going to talk to you about things like demographics and psychographics. And listen, that is all super important. And I definitely dive into that with my coaching clients. But the first step is really resonance. This is really the key, the heart, the foundation of doing this target client work. Because although your target client is most likely not yourself, your kid, your family members, okay? That's a whole different thing. Most likely, the people in your close circle are not your target clients. However, your target clients will initially be drawn to your vibe, okay? So there are some things that will be in common. And what that really means is that when you are super authentic and you're really operating from a place of your true self and you're not afraid to like be yourself, that's when you tap into that target client. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about not being afraid to be sassy or to be a little controversial sometimes, or to just say what you think. Like, I'm not talking about super polarizing political views. I mean, if that's your jam, that's fine. What I really mean is having the courage to stand in who you really are, because that's what's going to bring them in initially. Not all of those people are going to be your target client, but a lot of them will be. So how do you define your resonance, and how do you learn to lean into it and be the most, authentic version of yourself, and maybe even lean into that woo part of you? So let me give you a little backstory about me, my story, because I know a lot of you guys ask me this in DMs and even in some of my coaching Voxer threads and things like that. How do you do this, Renee? Like, how do you show up as that version of yourself, like the most truest version of yourself? How do you even find the confidence to do it? All of that. Okay. So here's the deal. I didn't start out this way, and nobody does, right? Everybody has to do a lot of repetition. Okay. Repetition, doing it over and over and over again, and desensitizing yourself a little bit to it. That's really, really the key, I think, is forcing yourself, throwing yourself into the fire, and making yourself do these things that are uncomfortable, because your unconscious mind does learn by experience. And so you can give it whatever kind of experience you want. And the cool part is that your unconscious doesn't even know if it's real or not. You can make it up, and you can just act as if that is what you're experiencing, and your unconscious will learn from that. But it really is awesome when you are absolutely doing the thing over and over and over again. And sometimes that can look like opening up Zoom. No one else is on the call with you, but you just start talking into the Zoom. You just start delivering a message, or maybe you open your camera, you open Instagram. You don't have any intention of hosting what you're saying, but you just say it over and over and over again. You desensitize yourself over and over and over again. You've got to practice. Okay, you're not going to do something perfect the first time. First of all, perfection is a myth. I want you to throw that out the window completely. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast. But when you were first learning how to walk, you fell down a lot, but did you stop trying? No, you kept going. But the thing here is that you have to be the one producing the effort to continue to try. So it doesn't matter if you fall, okay? What matters is how often you get up. And I get it, it's really easy to want to give up, especially with social media. Like if something doesn't work, or You work really hard on producing a reel or a TikTok or any piece of marketing, and it just kind of falls flat and it just doesn't resonate or it doesn't hit. But if you stop after you do that, you're not going to ever get to where you want to go. You're never going to reach that audience because you're not refining it. So it's really, really important that you understand that this is a little bit of a process. Okay. This is not going to happen overnight. You need to produce content. You need to put some stuff out there. You need to practice being the most authentic version of yourself. And you also need to sit back and review some of the things that happen after you do that. Okay. There's a lot of data that you can look at. But how do you actually find your resonance? Okay. Let's talk about that. For me, this was not a super easy process. I know it might seem like it is on the outside, but it's really not. And honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys right now, this is an ongoing issue for me, right? Because I am human. I definitely can fall prey to, oh, should I be posting this or should I be saying this? And wanting to avoid conflict and cancel culture. We are all at the very heart of our humanity. We all just want to be accepted. We all want to be loved. Okay. That's really all this is about. Like just this whole experience here. We all want to love and be loved and for who we really are. And I do think that we come in this way as kids, right? We do have that innocence and we all want to be loved and accepted. And then we have our childhoods and then we have our adolescence and we learn to suppress the things that make us shine. Because when you are shining your brightest and when you are living in your fullest expression of who you are, guess what happens? People who are not living in their highest expression come for you. So over time, we learn that we should just be quiet. We should not make noise. We should definitely not try and stand out. Just fit in, fly under the radar. I just don't want to make waves. Like we really, really get programmed by all of this crap that happened to us as we, grew into adulthood. And all of it is bullshit. Because if you are just trying to fit in and you are trying to fly under the radar and you just want to be the same, how in the world do you think you're going to stand out as a business owner? You're not. And even more importantly, in my book, you're not going to live your life to the fullest. Okay, I am on a mission to help as many creatives understand themselves through self-awareness and learn how to regulate their nervous systems so they can be the best and fullest expression of themselves. And that is not going to happen if you are playing small. That is not going to happen if you're trying to fly under the radar. It's not going to happen if you're trying to fit in with all the other photographers, artists, creatives, whatever. It's not going to happen. You have to be willing to be different. You've got to be willing to be yourself, and you've got to be willing to be unapologetic about it. And listen, I can't tell you exactly how to do this on your own. One of the things that I do inside of coaching when someone comes to work with me, especially one-on-one, I'm able to really understand their learning styles. I'm trained in NLP, so I know that all of us access materials differently. Like for instance, did you know that not everyone has an internal dialogue? I really freaked out when I heard this because I have a constant inner dialogue in my head, like constant. And also, not everybody thinks in movies like I do. Like some people, if you tell them to think of an apple, they don't actually see an apple. They think about the idea of an apple. It's amazing how our brains work. Okay. Everyone's different. So when someone comes to work with me, I am able to assess what their learning styles are. I look at their human design chart. I really want to understand how best I can help them access the materials and also how I can help them get to where they want to be faster. Okay. Because that's one of the benefits of working with someone who's trained in life coaching and all the different modalities that I am. In addition to business coaching, you get out of your own way as well. And a trained life coach is going to be able to ask you the right questions and understand your learning styles. So I can't tell you on this podcast exactly what you should be doing, but I can give you some really good ideas and starting points to help you figure out where to even start this whole process, because what works for you may or may not work for someone else. What worked for me may or may not work for you. I can tell you a fantastic starting point is self-awareness. Okay, there's a lot of different tools. I always say this with my students. There's a lot of different tools in your self-awareness tool belt, if you will. If you picture yourself with a, bright pink, hot purple tool belt, whatever your favorite color is, all the different things in your tool belt, all the different tools. Let's talk about some of those that might be useful to you. For me, therapy is number one. Okay. I have been in and out of therapy since I was probably 17. I think 17 is when I first went to therapy. Yeah. My boomer parents sent their Gen X kid to therapy. So I am one of the rare ones. I am very, very fortunate that I have a fantastic family. My mom, especially, she and I were always super close, and she always just was there for me. A lot of us Gen Xers did not have that experience, but I really had a very loving upbringing. So I'm very fortunate, and I'm so grateful that my mom put me in therapy at 17, 18 years old, because I needed it. Okay. I had a lot of stuff going on. I had a lot of baggage. I am an emotional authority in human design. If you know what that means, you know that it can be a lot. I can be a lot. And I was dealing with some stuff. Okay. So therapy in and out, just various stuff. I definitely went back into therapy after I had my twins. I had postpartum depression. I have tried my fair share of SSRIs over the years. Like, I have had a lot of anxiety and depression throughout my life. And it wasn't until, honestly, well into adulthood that I realized that most of my childhood I was riddled with anxiety. I just thought that was how you were. I just thought everybody had nightmares about their homes burning down. I just thought that everybody was constantly fearful of everyone around them dying. I thought that was just normal, but it's not. And it wasn't until I was probably in my 30s, really, that I was able to look at all that and go, okay, man, I was really wound up as a kid and as a teenager. There were many, many days I had to come home from school because my stomach would hurt so bad, right? Like, so a lot of us who have anxiety, we know it's going to affect us in our stomach. And obviously now I know that's because we have the same chemicals in our stomach than we do in our brain. And so that's just how it's going to play out. Plus I'm a Virgo, and we are just plagued with stomach problems. So I feel you if you guys are also on that page. It's just one of those things that I thought everybody dealt with, and no, it's not. So I had a lot of anxiety growing up, a lot of depression on and off. And I'm really grateful that I had access to therapy. Not everybody does. I realize that is a huge privilege. So I will say that if you can find therapy, if you can find someone to talk to who is trained, and you are dealing with any of that stuff, even if you consider it to be mild, it can be incredibly, incredibly helpful. And you don't have to be dealing with major stuff to go to therapy. Sometimes it's just really nice to talk to somebody who gets it, who is not in your close circle of friends and isn't your spouse. Like, if you're using your spouse as your sounding board and it's the only person, it's not the best idea. I'm just going to give you a little push to try and find somebody who actually is trained and can help you kind of move through it. The other thing that I think everyone should be doing daily is journaling. And even if you are going to say, okay, Renee, I'm not a writer, I don't really know how to journal. Okay, you should be journaling. Even if you are just writing down what you did that day, at least start there, because there is scientific proof that when you write with your hand, there's a whole thing that happens, right? A whole process that happens that doesn't happen if you are typing. It's a really different system. It is 100% the best way to get stuff out of their head, especially if you've got a lot of inner monologue like I do. You really need to get it out. Okay. So journaling can be a fantastic way to get that stuff out, to process, but also so you can look back on it and see how far you've come. That's really, really cool. I still have my journals from my early 20s. It's probably not a good idea that I have those in my closet. I don't know if I would want my kids to find them. But honestly, now that they're adults, I'm like, whatever. It might be a nice, it might be a really fun discovery for them one day after I'm gone to find out, oh wow, mom really had a life. I digress. The whole point is for you to look back and see like how far you've come, right? It can be a really cool thing. So that's a great self-awareness thing. I think that everyone should be journaling every day. I like to do it at night after I've kind of had my day and I've reflected. Some people like to do it in the morning. You got to find what works for you, but I really think that you should be journaling. The next one I'm going to suggest to you, I can already see in my mind's eye all of your eyes rolling because you've probably heard this so many times. And I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm going to say it anyway. And then we're going to talk about it and we're going to figure this out. You guys should be meditating. Yep, I know. You're saying, I can't meditate. My brain doesn't stop. It never stops. I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. I don't have time to meditate. All of that stuff is not true. Those are excuses. You could find the time if it were important to you. And let's talk about why it should be important to you. This whole podcast is about your resonance, finding your resonance, leaning into your woo, leaning into like the truest expression of who you are, just unapologetically. You can't really find that if you are constantly listening to everybody else, if you are constantly listening to what other people are thinking about you, and if you're constantly, just saturating your life with other people's crap, meaning their social media feeds, their problems, all of the stuff that's going on in your life, your friends, your kids, your spouse, like all of their stuff. If you are not filtering all of that through, okay, you are going to be just inundated with that. And so that's why a lot of us just tend to live hypnotically and we don't even realize that we're just going through the motions because it's just easier to kind of tune out. Meditating does the exact opposite, okay? It gets you into your own resonance so fast. It really does. And I know it feels weird and it feels like you're not doing, first of all, there's no rules, okay? No one is like telling you have to do it a certain way. So stop cracking the whip on yourself. That's not true. If you just sat with your breath and with your own thoughts for like 10, 15 minutes a day, you literally will become a different person. And what I mean by that is you will become the best version of yourself. Okay, so this human experience, this like meat suit that we wear, right? This is not who we are. You're not your body. You are not your thoughts. This is like an experience that our spirit, our soul, our energy is having on this plane of existence. If you want to get really out there, there's multiple versions of you living multiple realities. Okay. Like the whole Marvel universe talking about multiple realities, multiple timelines. Okay. That actually does exist. In our world, whether you believe it or not, I 100% believe it. It's quantum physics. There is another version of you living the life that you want to live. So you got to match that frequency. Meditating gets you to that frequency, that resonance, way faster than anything else. So if you've had like a vision of yourself living that life, if you have like an idea of like, oh my gosh, I want to start this business, or oh my gosh, I want to make, $1 million, whatever it is. If you've had the thought, that's because it's already happened. So all you have to do is match the frequency of that version of yourself in that timeline. The best way to do that, the fastest way to do that is through meditating because you can align that resonance quickly. The other thing that meditation does for you is that it expands that energy field around you. Okay, we all are energy. We all are just balls of energy. And when we focus on expanding that field and really like filling it with love and light and all the good stuff that you want to exude, You can be very intentional with your energetic field. But most of us just kind of walk around unintentionally being energetic. And, you are going to get back what you're putting out. So isn't it a better idea to be intentional about what you're putting out so that it comes back to you? If you're putting out, I hate my life, I'm not really happy with everything, I don't feel like I'm, being the truest expression of myself, I don't know what I want. Well, that's going to be reflected back to you, right? But if you are intentional about your energy and how you want to feel, and you're coming from a heart-centered place, your light, your energy is going to be so much stronger. So if we're talking about strengthening our resonance and leaning into it and really expanding it and owning it, getting clarity on it, meditation is a fantastic tool to get you there. I highly encourage you to start small. Don't feel like you've got to go into like an hour-long meditation, okay? Like that's not something you want to just jump right into. There's a lot of resources out there that can get you started. Just start somewhere, even if it's just you focusing on your breath for 10 minutes. You'd be surprised at how powerful that is. I do have a lot of hypnosis tracks. They're a little bit different. Meditation and hypnosis are not the same. I think they're both extremely useful. I think hypnosis is a super fast track to rewiring your unconscious programming. So I do have some of those tracks for you guys on Calibrate, which is my private podcast. I'll link that in the show notes. And if you work with me, you know that I'm really big on hypnosis. I love hypnosis, especially because you don't really have to be an active participant and it's going to work directly on your unconscious mind. And so it's not necessarily about you expanding your field, your energy, although it does, that is a nice side effect of it. Hypnosis is more about reprogramming the crap that you have been programmed with against your will. So really, all of these things that we've been talking about are all really great ways to help regulate your nervous system. And nervous system regulation it should be top of mind for everyone right now, because if you are not regulated, most of us are walking around unregulated. And like I said, in sort of like a trance, if you're not regulated, you are going to be triggered all the time. But when you are coming from a very regulated place and you are calm, you can really seriously conquer the world. And it's my goal in life to be untriggerable, honestly. It really is a superpower. And there are a lot of different ways you can do it. I mean, the things that we were talking about here, you could just go for a walk and be in nature. And that is going to help regulate your nervous system. You could prioritize sleep. You can go pet your dog. Anything that's going to bring you peace and calm and regulate your nervous system so that you are not in fight or flight is a good thing. Most of us just live in fight or flight and we don't even realize we're doing it. I know that was my experience. Like I said, for my whole life, really, I didn't realize that I was in fight or flight. My childhood, definitely my adolescence, a lot of my 20s, and even after I had kids. Andrew and I fell into parenthood. I like to say we fell over the cliff of parenthood. We were in our 20s. I was 28 when we had our first son. Andrew was only 26. He's like a year and a half, almost 2 years younger than I am. And so we did not mean to do that. That was unplanned. That was definitely unplanned on our conscious level, but obviously it was a bigger part of our plan together, right? It was a bigger picture, because of course, having Reese was what changed our lives in so many ways for the better. But we had Reese, then we got married, and then literally 2 years after we had Reese, we had twins. We were thinking, oh, we'll just have another kid. We'll do it really quick and easy so that we can just have two back to back and we'll be done. Nope. We had twins. So I had 3 kids under the age of 2. And if you don't know, my husband's an actor, writer, director. And at the time, I was not a photographer, right? I didn't own my own business back then. I was a massage therapist at that time. I had a college degree. I thought about going back for my graduate degree. And then I got pregnant. So all of these things happened, right? So I found myself a young mom with 3 kids under the age of 2. Then my oldest son was diagnosed with autism not long after the twins were born. My husband being an actor, the year the twins were born was the year of that actor strike. And we're in an actor strike right now. But in 2000, there was another actor strike. We were broke. Okay. We were on government assistance. We were not financially stable by any stretch of the imagination. There were some seriously scary times. Okay. So I didn't realize until like my kids probably were in their teen years. I didn't realize how much we had been living in fight or flight for most of our married life. And I remember my mom telling me early on, if you guys can make it through this, you'll make it through anything. And I was just like too in fight or flight to even process that at the time. But now I totally get what she was saying, right? Because like the older they got, the more money we made, the more stable we got. I started my business because I wanted stability, which is hilarious because if you know anything about entrepreneurship and starting your own business, it is anything but stable. But you know what? I am in control of my money. I am in control of how much I want to work. And if you do it with that intention, you absolutely can have that. Like you can't be living by the seat of your pants. You can't let the business run you, right? That's a whole different topic, whole different podcast. But I started this business because I needed to have some sort of control and stability over, making the money because his business was not stable at all. It was very much feast or famine. And it's a roller coaster ride. So I didn't realize how much I had lived in fight or flight my whole life. I went through menopause at 42. I got diagnosed at Hashimoto's right before that. So my metabolism just shut the hell down. It was like, absolutely not. We're not doing this anymore. And it wasn't until probably about 3-4 years ago that I realized how much of a toll living in fight or flight really took on my body and my mind and my soul. And I made it my mission, my goal to never, ever be in that position again. And also to help other people get out of that. And that is why I am so passionate about you finding your resonance and using your resonance to find your target clients, to connect with your people, to put your vibe out there, to be the most you that you can be. That's literally all you have to focus on is just be the highest expression of yourself, the most you that you can possibly be. So all of these things that we talked about today on the podcast are great tools to get you there. Anything that's going to help you lean in and accept who you are amazing and worthy literally just because you're alive. You don't need to wait to get a degree or a certification or anyone else's approval. You don't need to wait. You already have everything you need. You are well resourced. You just need to express your resonance. You need to step into the awesomeness that is you. No one else can do it like you, okay? I don't care how many photographers there are in your town. I don't care how many interior designers there are. I don't care how many musicians. There are so many artists, okay? But that's the beautiful thing about art is that no one does it exactly the same way. If you look at all the best artists of all of our time, everyone has a signature. What's yours? I want you to find it. And I know that you will. If it's important to you, you are going to make it happen. And I hope this podcast helps you guys at least have a starting point, at least gives you a few ideas, and hopefully hearing some of my own stories has helped you realize that we all go through a lot of different stuff in our lives. What matters is how we process them and if we're willing to really look at what's going on and to just better ourselves, right? How can we just become the best version of ourselves every single day? How can we give more love? How can we show up in a more authentic way? How can we be the truest expression of ourselves? Be the most you can be. Your dream clients are waiting for you. They want to vibe with you. They want to buy from you. They want to be in your world. You have to just show up so that they can find you. If you need help with this, I do have a couple of spots open for one-on-one coaching going into Q4. I don't take on too many, so you do need to reach out. I'll put that information in the show notes. you can always DM me on Instagram at Renee Bowen. I'd love to chat with you and just let me know like what you need specific help with. And I'll let you know if I can help you. And if not, I will point you in the right direction. I also have a $49 membership. If you're a photographer and you really need help with all the stuff that we were talking about, plus marketing, as well as shooting and editing, all kinds of stuff about running a photography business, I have a $49 a month come and go as you please membership. And I'd love to have you there. You can go ahead and find that in the show notes as well. And I also have an $11 30-day visibility challenge that we are smack dab in the middle of right now at the time of this recording of the podcast. So that is all about showing up. It is really about helping you guys get desensitized to just showing up on social media for your target clients. Okay. We're not going to do super deep work on all the different, ins and outs of finding your why and all of that stuff. That's one-on-one coaching. That's hand-holding stuff that I do with you guys one-on-one. But for $11, you get access to me on Voxer, you get daily motivations, and you get the support of a really cool group. I think we have about 70 photographers in there right now. So you can absolutely still join. You don't have to be with this for the whole 30 days. There's going to be some other prizes that I'm giving out, but it really, the prize is that you are going to get more clients and get more, leads. What's really cool is that so many of the people doing the challenge, just from showing up daily for the first 2 weeks, have already seen a huge increase in just chatter about them in their community. They're getting clients, they're getting bookings, literally just from showing up on social media, not even necessarily with a strategy. Like that's a whole different ballgame, right? These are people who hadn't been posting. Most of them haven't been posting for months, some of them even longer. And they're showing up now and they're like, oh my gosh, clients are responding. I'm having engagement. I'm having people book me. I'm having people talk about me. So it's really cool. I mean, this has been super fun. I knew it would be fun, but I had no idea it'd be this fun. So if you want to join us, all that's going to be in the show notes as well. I'd love to have you guys any way I can have you. Any universe, any part of my universe you want to be in, okay? So go out there and be the best you can. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing rest of your week. Regulate your nervous system so that you are in control of yourself, because that's really all we are in control of, our actions and reactions. So be the best version that you can be for yourself and everybody else in your life. And all of that's going to come back to you. And your clients are going to resonate with you. I promise.